Hello, I'm Joanne Myers, Director of Public Affairs Programs. As many of you know, the Carnegie Council has been a forum for the discussion of ethical issues in international decision-making. But to continue to bring these wonderful programs to you, we need your help. Please visit carnegiecouncil.org, click on Donate/Join. Thank you for doing so.
So from the very beginning, the message that we in the West, and indeed in the East, send to this nascent group of African leaders who, for the first time, are becoming national leaders of independent African countries, most of which didn't exist in their current shape before that, is we're not over-bothered by whether you're democratic or not. We're not even that fussed about human rights. Here's what we care about. We care about whether you're in our camp or their camp. Are you pro-Moscow or are you pro-Washington? Are you a communist or are you free enterprise and whatever? That's really the defining thing. And as long as you stay on the right side of that, you know, you'll get support from us. You'll get aid, you'll get investment, you'll get whatever's necessary. And we train, in effect, I mean, we help to condition those entire first generations of African leaders in that binary worldview, and that's that. So it's not like we can sit on our hands and say, tut tut, Africa, what a mess. Gee, you know, we play into why it's such a mess. I mean, we do have some contributory blame to it, and there are other issues too. But that's the one I wanted to just mention in passing, and really for. Right up until 1990, that's the way the game is played. And suddenly, in 1990, the Berlin Wall comes down, the Cold War's over, and we turn around to these, you know, this group of African leaders who, since 1957, you know, since they existed as leaders, have been used to one way of operating, and say, the rules of the international game changed entirely. Now, if you want aid, you want to qualify for aid and to be in our good, you know, our good books economically and everything else, we want this thing called democracy, we want transparency, we don't want corruption, we want open society, we want this, and there's this whole, you know, whole roster of things that we've never been fussy about before. So before, for example, you know, we were happy to support people like Mobutu in Zaire, as it then was, you know, who was not democratic, bloodthirsty, but even lots of authoritarian leaders. I mean, you know, Houphouët-Boigny in Côte d'Ivoire. I mean, the list goes on. And Siad Barre plays both sides against each other. He moves from one to the other, basically, you know, ransoming out, you know, to see who pays the most. So that you know, that we were happy to do that. We weren't fussy. But suddenly in 1990, the whole game changes. Now, the reason this is relevant to someone like Mugabe is that in 1980, when he comes, primarily what we see is that he's weirdly, I mean, he's on our side. But now, one of the reasons for that is that there was a wrinkle in the Cold War game. I mean, sort of partly through the non-aligned movement, but really it's about China.